When we touch public lands, there's something that happens inside of all of us. And so for me, it's about really doing our part to continue to have and protect the public lands that we have.
Released today from the state director, he said in that statement that he will seek penalties for anybody caught breaking the law at tomorrow's protest. The Bureau of Land Management banned motorized vehicles in 2007 in Recapture Canyon to protect archaeology left behind thousands of years ago.
After all the appropriate penalties, and we'll seek whatever redress is available legally for all the lawbreakers.
Here I am out here on Dark Canyon Plateau at a clearing area near Fable Valley, where the BLM cleared this area last year using heavy equipment, where they just went down. And the reason I'm out here showing you this is I want to show you the contrast of what the BLM authorizes themselves to do, and yet then they'll turn around and try to punish or make civilians criminals by... As I was saying, you know, the BLM, they'll gladly charge a civilian or a citizen with driving down a trail or fixing a trail, like they did the two individuals in Blanding, $30,000, $35,000 for fixing the ATV trail so that it was safe. But then when it comes to their behavior on the land, they don't abide by the same rules. You'll see here, I'm going to show you examples in Little Bali, also out on Dark Canyon Plateau, and also in Indian Creek, what I'm talking about. But we're going to fly down Recapture here to give you an idea of what it looks like from the air, just an overview. There's a road down it. There's a ditch on the side up there where the city of Blanding used to get the water funneled around to them. There's also a pipeline down the canyon. There's only about 2 to 3 miles worth of trail that are ATV trail now. The rest of it's all county road, and the ATV trail has been there for a long time. But you'll see here, just watch the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get some good information out of it. Just showing this comparison of, you know, it's a lot of do what we say but not what we do, coming from the BLM when we talk about management of land, protecting artifacts, archaeological sites, and so on and so forth. Okay, we're going to leave Recapture Canyon right now. Here, and just as we turn around, we're going to leave. We're going to go out to Little Bollies and show you the clear cut that took place during 2010. This clear cut out here covered 1,700 acres, and I think it took them 2 summers to do. But you'll see how they just drove through. There's a bunch of places where you'll see groups of trees. Well, those are where they went around some of the ruins. But they drove through a lot, went over a lot, tire tracks everywhere in the early days when it was first done. So we're going to show you that and show you what they did out there over on this 1,700 acres. One thing to point out is you got Arch Canyon right here, Comb Wash, which are major populated areas for the Anasazi and ancient inhabitants. There's a lot of history up here. If you look at all the patches of trees as we fly through here, each one of those patches is a ruin site or a surface site or something of that nature, the ones that they decided to not run over. Watch this video, it makes you wonder who's doing the most damage. The BLM clearing 1,700 acres like this, or ATVs driving down a trail in Recapture that has been used for years. Well, the next video is by the Friends of Cedar Mesa, and it shows you that damage in Recapture, and you can compare it.
Walking the Recapture Canyon.
This is Little Bollies in 2010 when they cleared it. Here's an area that they cleared. You can see the debris. What they used here was a mulcher type thing. It went in. Went up to the edge of this timber, but you can see the debris right there. The debris goes off through there. See, they drove through there. They definitely drove through all this in here. The interesting thing is as they do this, they try to avoid sites. I'm going to show you something here. As you can see, they drove through here when they came through. That guy's missing it there. We got some shards, a mono it looks like, some chippings, some work, things like that. It's not the only spot, but as you walk through this, You obviously went through there and cut it out, but this area through here, yeah, it's got stuff laying on the surface, pottery, chippings, obviously part of a midden. Anyway, and it looks like off through there, that's probably part of the site area. But what's interesting is how they arbitrarily decide that what the boundaries of the site are. Well, and they're never right. Because just like you see here, you've got stuff coming out here, and I'm sure as I walk around, looking around just on these open areas, I'll find other stuff. So just let me show you. These are some comparisons between 2014 and 2010 when the area was cleared. You can see there's some grasses that have come back, things like that. There's still the piles of debris from the trees and everything that are cleared. It still went through the ruins. But just to give you a comparison, we've put the 2010 pictures here with the video. You notice there on the left side of the video, there's a straight line where the BLM land meets the Forest Service land. So those trees and everything on the forest, that's what this area looked like prior to them coming in and just totally clear cutting. In that particular area of the forest, there's actually a number of different sites and surface sites and ruins and things, because just off to the right is Lewis Lodge, a large complex of buildings and things like that in the cliff. Well, that's about it for Little Bali, so now we're going to head out to Dark Canyon Plateau out by Fable Valley and look at the clearing they did last year. As we approach it, you can see it there just in the distance, the cleared area with trees all around it. This is a very heavily populated area as well. The Fable Valley has multiple archaeological sites up on top here. There's quite a few as well. One of the reasons I came back out here to check this out was in the past when we ran trips out here hiking through this, I'd run across several sites, so I'd come back to see what they look like. We're going to take one more pass here so to give you a different view looking towards Fable Valley and the entire area that was cleared. You notice there's no patches of trees, they didn't really leave anything. They pretty much drove over most everything there. And you'll see some video here shortly of a ruin that they drove through, knocking it down and pretty much destroying the walls and things of that nature. Pretty much in the area you're looking at there. Show you something. See all those rocks? You're looking at part of a ruin, okay? And the sagebrush and the old chain area, the big trees in the middle are from the old chaining and the sagebrush. But the interesting thing is look right below it, and you've got the track of the big vehicle that they used coming right through. That right, talk about run over a ruin. Coming right through this area here, you can see all the pottery that's dug up. And then right here at my feet, you've got pottery, you've got flint, things they worked, you know. But all through here, right here, it went right, drove right over the edge of that ruin. I can guarantee you that in Recapture, there isn't an ATV that did any damage like this. And there's the edge of the ruin. There, you can see where the track went. This is one of the areas I hiked to as I was out checking it on the ground. Looks like devastation just hit it. It looks like an atom bomb or something. Just debris and trees and everything laying all over. There's a pile of rocks and stuff there in the middle that actually is part of a wall of an archaeological site. But you can see the big timbers. This was an old growth area, big old junipers and stuff, and I don't know how long that takes them to grow, but there were some big ones there. As you can tell right now, I'm standing on a bunch of debris and just logs and things like that. It was quite interesting just looking at it and a little bit disturbing just because of the devastation that was caused. Not that it may not matter over time, but there was definitely a lot of devastation out through that whole thing, taking out all those trees and running through that ruin right there. And that wasn't the only one. There was one I showed you earlier, this one, and several other surface sites along the way. Right here, some rocks and stuff from it as well, covered in this debris. There's the corner of the building. As you can tell, as I get around here a little bit, here in a minute, you'll see how they're stacked up. There's part of it standing up there, and some more here coming into this corner. And you can see that they're stacked up, and the thing went right through there. All the debris and wood and stuff is laying all around it, inside of it, the whole thing. With all the debris on the ground, you really had a hard time. It was hard to see anything. Right now I'm standing in a depression, giving you a view of that, just off from the building, just a little depression, which could be maybe another ruin site, building or a kiva or something like that. But with all the debris, it made it really hard to really. As I walked around the site, I just couldn't believe all the timber and this old growth part of the forest that they went through and ran over this ruin and cut all these big trees down. And so I did a panoramic view of it, just sort of give you an idea of what the area looked like and before all this, before they clear cut it, before they ran through the ruin and destroyed it. When you start comparing this to what the BLM's saying that the ATVers did in Recapture, there's no comparison. BLM has done more destruction to the land and to archaeological sites than anybody ever has. And the final part of this video will show you that comparison.
statement released today from the state director. He said in that statement that he will seek penalties for anybody caught breaking the law at tomorrow's protest. Land management banned motorized vehicles in 2007 in Recapture Canyon to protect archaeology left behind thousands of years ago.
After all the appropriate penalties, and we'll seek whatever redress is available legally for all the lawbreakers.
Of us, that when we touch public lands, there's something that happens inside of all of us. And so for me, it's about really doing our part to continue to have and protect the public lands that we have.